Hello everyone, students. In this lesson, we're going to talk about recognizing value types and dashboard components. Before we get into the course, let's watch this video first. It means the correct seating position that drivers should have. The driver's seating position must adjust the seat position. Only after adjusting can you drive on the road. Because if you adjust the seat while driving, it can be dangerous. All right, let's take a look at the video. Hi, Xiong Ping-an, I'm here. I'm Li Wei-liang from the Civil Service Training Institute of the Directorate General of Civil Service. Today, I'm bringing everyone to class at the Civil Service Training Institute because what we are going to teach today is about vehicle checks before driving. To ensure everyone drives safely, teacher, I'd like to ask, how to adjust the seat. The adjustment of the seat varies depending on each person's height, weight, and the length of their arms and legs. The correct seat adjustment will also vary from person to person. The first step in adjusting the correct seating position is to adjust the seat forward and backward, and its height. The guideline is that both feet should not touch the lower edge of the EDL platform, and your foot should rest lightly on the brake pedal. The angle between the thigh and calf should be about 120 degrees. This way, you can provide enough braking force, and the transition between the accelerator and brake pedals will be very smooth. As for the height adjustment of the seat, it should be as close to the ground as possible, while ensuring a clear line of sight. This way, the center of gravity is lower, which improves vehicle control. When the driver's seat safety, airbag inflates. If the driver is too close, it can cause serious injuries. It is recommended to sit at least 25 centimeters away from the airbag. The distance is measured from the center of the steering wheel to your sternum. Additionally, the closer the headrest is, the better head protection you will have. Therefore, it's not advisable to use a cushion on the seat back. Teacher, I would like to ask how to adjust the rearview mirror. Not adjusting the rearview mirror before driving will prevent a complete understanding of the vehicles on both sides and behind. When turning or changing lanes, it can easily lead to misjudgments regarding the presence of other vehicles, causing traffic accidents. Furthermore, the cleanliness of the mirrors should also be noted. The interior rearview mirror should primarily provide a view directly behind. It is recommended that in adjusting the side rearview mirrors, 1/5 of the inner circular part of the mirror should show your vehicle. The remaining part should show what is behind the vehicle and the status on the side of the vehicle. Teacher, I have one last question. How should the steering wheel be adjusted? If the steering wheel is not properly adjusted, it will affect our steering maneuverability and can create ergonomically incorrect movements, leading to hand, back, and shoulder soreness. This is not good for long-distance driving. When adjusting the steering wheel, the manual adjustment lever is mostly located under the steering column. If the vehicle's steering wheel supports height adjustment, after adjusting the height, try turning the steering wheel. While turning, the principle is to keep your hands from touching your thighs. Also pay attention to the information on the dashboard and make sure the steering wheel does not obstruct it. Is everything clear? I understand. Thank you for the detailed answer, teacher. If you want to know more about traffic safety information, please visit the traffic safety website. After watching the video, let's move on to our course. Understanding vehicle structure, driver's cabin, and dashboard. We see this diagram. There are two dashboards above. The one above is a typical fuel vehicle dashboard. The one below is a hybrid vehicle dashboard. What's the difference? It has an engine RPM gauge. Everything else is about the same. Each type of vehicle's dashboard is generally similar. However, the more warning lights there are on the dashboard, the more testing systems it will have. The color distinctions generally include blue, green, yellow, and then red. Generally speaking, the red part means you need to address it immediately. The yellow part can usually wait to be addressed. Green indicates normal. You probably don't need to deal with it right away. Green, that represents normal. There are about these colors. Let's take a look. The remote control part is the remote control on your body. As long as you get close to the car door, that door handle can open the car door. Its design is the door handle. It has a sensor. It can detect you. If the remote is on you, the car door can be opened. And if you touch it again, it will close the car door. You can also use the button. There are buttons on it. The remote has a key on it. Why is there a key? Because it's worried the remote is out of battery. You can use this key to open the car door. But if your remote is out of battery, if it has no power at all, you still can't start the vehicle. You just need to change the battery. According to the coach's experience, This car belongs to the coach.
It's a new car.
After about 4 years, the battery will run out. Later, after changing the battery, it ran out after 2 years. Just sharing this with everyone. Changing the battery isn't too expensive. The first time I changed it was $60. This time it's going to be $80. The remote battery can drain due to weather factors.
Can't open the car door.
This is the situation I encountered in the mountains.
Woke up in the morning, the remote couldn't open the car door.
Because it was too cold last night. After the weather warms up, you can open the car door again.
This is to let everyone know.
In this situation, after you go down the mountain, you should change the battery, because it has already lost a lot of power. Next, we look at the cruise control system.
For this car, there is a cruise control system.
Indicator light.
Everyone driving on the highway, what do you fear the most? Speeding. Imagine if there is this system.
You set it at 100, then it maintains that speed.
It won't overspeed, isn't that great?
Generally, they set this system for driving. If there is a situation.
There's another question I want to ask you, students.
When you set it, it maintains a fixed speed. At this time, where does your right foot go? Usually it retreats.
What happens if the right foot retreats?
If something happens and you need to brake,
you have to choose between the accelerator and brake. What if you hit the wrong pedal? Does that lead to a crash? So, I want to remind all students of something.
You should develop a habit. Keep your right foot off the pedal. It should be on the brake pedal.
Ready to brake. I'll say it again.
When you drive, you should develop a habit.
Keep your right foot off the pedal.
It should rest on the brake pedal.
Ready to brake, not pulling back. Pulling back brings high risk. We see many cars crash. Others won't package it. Why do they package it?
Some elderly drive very slowly. They don't retract their foot from the gas pedal. Once nervous and need to brake, they hit the wrong pedal.
Once they go out, it's a crash. Out of control, it becomes a disaster. This is quite a strange situation. So remember the movement the coach just mentioned.
Make it a habit from now on. Next, new cars. All have tire pressure monitors.
The tire pressure monitor has been discussed before about tires. Let's briefly mention it here as well. When the light comes on, it means one of the 4 tires
has insufficient pressure.
As previously mentioned, it lights up when it's about 5 psi low. Its design typically has 3 types.
One type is installed inside the rim.
Another type is installed
on the outside of the rim, and the other is the tire sensor.
It detects differences in tire rotation speed.
The other type outside the steel ring
is the tire sensor. It senses the difference in tire rotation speeds.
He just indicates there's a switch here. Tire pressure warning reset switch is under the direction board here. If we're using the stick, let's not touch it. This is the explanation from the user manual. This part will be handled by the manufacturer. Let's not mess with it. Tire pressure for our car.
The A pillar and the B pillar.
The B pillar has a sticker here. The sticker will tell you.
This is the size of the original manufacturer's tires. And also the tire pressure that needs to be filled.
How many pounds?
As for the tire pressure gauge, we usually don't have a tire pressure gauge at home. Where to find the tire gauge? At maintenance shops, tire shops, and also gas stations. Free water and air refill.
Where is this? At the gas station in the rest area.
It also has a place for you to inflate tires. And also a free water refill place.
This is the inflating equipment.
In the future, when you drive in mainland China,
what to do when you find there's no air.
To be precise, it's not about finding there's no air.
You should regularly check the tire pressure.
At maintenance shops, gas stations, and car rental places.
All these places have inflating equipment. Or you can buy one of those for your car.
An electric inflating device.
My family bought one a while back.
It's kept in the car.
It's rarely used since it can inflate.
It has a warning light and can also serve as a flashlight. It's great, right? But if left unused for a long time, what happens? It might break.
Especially electronic products.
So you should learn in advance. Before you buy something, consider carefully.
Is your usage rate high?
Not to say don't buy it. It depends on your usage rate.
Let's take a look at the gas station inflating equipment inside the rest area. This is its structure. This is the valve. When we're measuring tire pressure,
we just press down on the valve.
It will detect the pressure. Then you'll know what the tire pressure is. Now let's look at the first picture.
When the air valve is not connected, the actual tire pressure is 0.
The original setting was at 32 pounds. This car owner set it to 35 pounds.
When pressed down, the actual measured tire pressure is 33 pounds. That's less than 2 pounds. So continue pressing down. it starts inflating. When it reaches 35, the BPP sound comes on. This tells you that the inflation is complete. It's that simple, right? Yes, that's right. Very simple. If you still can't do it, you can ask the gas station attendants. They'll teach you, so don't worry too much. Next, let's see if this light is red. The yellow system indicator light, when this light is on, it means there's a problem with your yellow system. Similarly, you should check it regularly. Engine system fault indicator light. This light is yellow. It means you don't need to handle it immediately. It's okay to delay. Because this needs to be checked with a computer. There might be issues with that system. It could also be a computer malfunction, or other sensors might have problems. All these possibilities. Ultimately, you still need to go for a computer check to troubleshoot. When the energy-saving driving indicator light is on, it tells you that you're currently in energy-saving mode. If you slightly press the accelerator, this light will turn off. This indicates that you're in fuel-consuming mode. Not every car manufacturer has this light. It depends on the brand. Door open indicator light. If this light is on, it usually accompanies a buzzer sound. There will be other sounds telling you that the car door is not closed properly. Therefore, when checking, you need to check each door, including the rear trunk as well. This is the red light, the small light. Indicator light. If this is on, it means your parking lights are on. Indicator light. If this is on, it means your low beam is on. Then turn it again to the headlights. Charging indicator light. If this light is on, it's red. Red means you need to handle it immediately, otherwise you'll run out. The charging indicator light means our car has an electric generator. The generator isn't generating power. When it's not charging, the light turns on. The light turns on and it can stall. Because the battery still has some power left, it can supply power for ignition. Until it runs out, the battery is empty. Then it's useless. Airbag protection system. And seatbelt pre-tension warning light. After you start the engine, if this light comes on, you need to get it checked. Your airbag system and seatbelt pre-tension system, because there are front airbags and side airbags, must return to the dealer to check the door switch system. Engine touch start. System indicator light. When you start the engine, a green light will appear if it detects your key. You can smoothly start your engine. If you press the start button, it shows an orange light. That means it hasn't detected your key. Or your key. The battery is dead. It still won't start, and this orange light will appear. This light is the seatbelt reminder indicator. When you haven't buckled your seatbelt, this light is on. Next, it will sound an alarm. I once met a gentleman. He drove to a gas station to refuel. After refueling, the vehicle wouldn't start. After several attempts, he found out it was because he hadn't buckled his seatbelt and couldn't start the engine. High beam is just a light. Our traffic regulations tell us 100 meters ahead. If there are no cars, you can use high beam. But at night, how do you know? 100 meters. It actually isn't too difficult, as long as there are no cars in front, whether they're going the same direction or opposite, no cars. Then you can use high beam. Why use high beam? Because high beam casts a higher angle. You can see further. Seeing further allows you to avoid danger. In the future, when we drive outside, when passing an entrance, also pay attention to the high beam. Switch to low beam. When we are on the road, also pay attention to this light, using high beam while driving. Because using high beam while driving, oncoming vehicles, they can't see the road ahead. So I want to remind everyone to learn and pay attention to the light indicator. Next, let's look at the low oil pressure warning light. When this light is on, the same applies. Regular maintenance is necessary because if the oil is insufficient, the temperature will rise and parts will wear out. What is warming up the engine? Why do we need to warm up the engine? Let's take a look at this news report. Preparing to take the beloved car for a stroll. Many people often just wait after starting. Simply standing still. This car looks like an old model, but actually it's a 90s car. About a car from 1989 or earlier. This model has a carburetor. As I mentioned, it needs warming up. The key is to see when the water temperature reaches normal temperature. Now it's just warming up. It will reach the normal temperature level. The condition of the car's fuel lines will be better because it reaches operating temperature. The owner says you must wait for the engine to run smoothly before driving. but is warming up really necessary? According to the Ford 18 engine from around 2000, idling for 3 minutes can drive 18 kilometers. The original manual mentioned this, so idling equals fuel consumption, and in Europe, where fuel prices are high, idling isn't very reasonable. This notion arises because older cars before 2000 have a carburetor in the engine, responsible for fuel supply, allowing the engine's air and fuel to mix. But its fuel supply accuracy can lead to air pollution. Today's car models have long been replaced with computer controls. No need to warm up, partly to avoid pollution. On the other hand, the new car's computer is very smart. It sets everything up for you in real time. This car is relatively newer, so let's do some starting tests right away. At this time, the RPM is around 1400. Pay attention to this SUV. About 30 seconds after starting, the engine RPM drops to 900. Once the sound gets quieter, it means it's ready. But for older models, it takes at least 2.5 minutes after starting for the RPM to slowly drop. The engine is running. Our RPM setting for the car will be slightly higher. We call it fast idle. It's due to this process. In this case, at the rated, very factory settings, the RPM is slightly elevated to allow it to do some warm-up actions. At the same time, it pumps up the oil within allowable limits to facilitate some oil flow. Now, if we say when using this area, we raise the RPM even higher, especially when many cars are parked in underground parking. If the RPM is raised even higher, it can easily cause, during this time, metal friction inside our engine, leading to damage. Actually, you should avoid flooring the gas pedal right after starting, whether the parts inside the engine can be covered by oil for lubrication. This is the key. At this time, it is very soft. Its valves have a very large intake. When it's very large, if you step on the gas again and try to climb a slope, or if you drive immediately after starting cold, the gaps here become very large. The entire operation will produce a much louder sound. So at this time, fuel consumption will be very poor, and it will generate more exhaust emissions. The car's parts are all metal. Each part will wear out from mutual friction when operating. Over time, it will certainly be prone to failure, especially when the engine is cold. The oil flows back down and relies on the startup to pump back into the engine, so oil truly controls the lifeblood of the car. If a driver forgets maintenance and only maintains after 20,000 kilometers, the oil is already gone. Actually, you can still drive, but if you want the car to last and keep it longer, if you want to keep your beloved car longer, maintaining it regularly is essential. If you maintain your engine well, there are many cases abroad, reaching 1 million kilometers, and the engine is still fine. If you're not diligent with maintenance, some people only make it to 70 or 80,000, or over 100,000, and the engine fails. Whether you maintain every 5,000 kilometers, or change the oil at 10,000 kilometers, both are fine. It just depends on the owner, whether you want to do one major repair, or change oil frequently to properly maintain your beloved car. Also, there are several NG behaviors when driving. When prohibited, don't idle too long, as it easily causes carbon buildup or gets exposed to sun or rain, which also makes the rubber seals prone to cracking, heavy acceleration and heat breaking and opening windows at high speeds, all waste fuel and damage the car. If you want to avoid frequent repairs for your car and keep your wallet safe, remember these points. After watching the previous video, the purpose of warming up is like stretching before swimming, to prepare beforehand. It's actually the same principle. This car has a blue light. This blue light is called the low engine coolant temperature indicator, which means when you just start the car, the light is on, telling you the engine is currently in a low state. You need to warm it up a bit. Wait for this light to go out before you can step on the gas and drive off. Now let's take a look and observe when it just started, whether its engine RPM increased. Observe it when it just starts moving. If its engine RPM gauge increases, and then the light went out, did the engine RPM decrease? Okay, there's a countdown here. I see there's a countdown. 5 seconds. Now the engine RPM has increased. It has increased, but the light is still on. Let's take a look at when the light went out. How many seconds in total? Did the engine RPM drop?
It is currently at 1100 RPM.
Pay attention now. Okay, the light went out.
The engine RPM has slightly decreased. It changed to 1000 RPM.
How many seconds was that? It took a total of 41 seconds. Because I've tried it before. When I got to the mountain, it took longer because up in the mountains, it can last until over a minute. So it can also vary due to your temperature. The time will be different.
Next, let's look at what happens when the temperature is too high. What lights will show up?
For this car,
when the temperature is too high,
this red light will turn on. At that point, you cannot continue driving. Our tachometer is a needle type.
Generally speaking, it's normal for the needle.
If it rises,
likewise, you need to stop by the roadside to rest. Get a coach to handle it.
If we drive outside,
it's the same. Pull over, don't keep driving.
If you continue to drive, the engine can easily get worse. Originally, it's just overheating if you ignore it.
Eventually, it will stall. If it's been fixed, what does it mean?
It could mean the same as mentioned earlier.
Therefore, when we drive, we need to be very clear about the dashboard lights.
It's not just about looking at the road ahead.
Occasionally, we should look down at our dashboard.
This diagram shows a circle.
It represents the tire scrub. In the brake system, the middle is hydrogen.
Now it means there's a problem.
Brake system warning light.
When the brake fluid level is too low, it will light up.
And there's a brake system malfunction.
It will also light up if the brake pads
are worn to a certain extent.
It won't let you scrub it anymore.
Handbrake system warning light.
This means if you haven't released it,
it will light up.
If the handbrake is pulled tight, the car won't be able to move.
The answer is it can move. Why? Because we have front-wheel drive.
The back tires don't move. Only 2 points of support are left.
The area of the 2 points of support is about the size of 2 small coins.
So if your handbrake isn't released, the car can still move. However, your brake pads might get worn out.
The tires will also wear out.
Therefore, when we check the vehicle, the last action is to release the handbrake, emphasizing the last action.
Release the handbrake. This is to confirm it has been released. So everyone, in the future, when driving, develop this habit.
Next, let's understand the Hill Start Assist control system. What is its operating situation?
After watching this system, dear students, when practicing driving,
if you have this system, you won't need to use the handbrake for hill starts.
After removing your foot from the brake pedal, it will hold your vehicle in place.
Then, as you move your foot,
the vehicle won't roll back. Then, when you accelerate, you can go straight up. However, the coach wants to remind everyone of one thing.
The hold time is not continuous. It will last about 2 to 3 seconds, giving you enough time
to move your foot to the accelerator. Accelerate and go up. It doesn't mean that if you release the brake,
you won't slide. You still will slide. It just pauses for about 2 to 3 seconds. From this video, we can see one thing now. We have many parking lots in Taiwan. Parking towers. The car in front is on the slope. Let's not go up yet. Because our car has this system, we won't be laughing.
But that doesn't mean the car in front has the same system.
We've seen reports on the news too. Suddenly reversing, the car behind can't stop in time and crashes. So whose fault is it?
Don't follow so closely. You're too close to the car in front.
You're not keeping a safe distance.
Here you also need to choose in advance.
No matter when you're driving,
You must maintain a safe distance and space. ABS anti-lock brake warning system. It keeps the tires from locking up, because when we hit the brakes, if the tires lock up, the car will roll and lose control. This system uses a computer to control our fuel supply. It enables pulsing brakes, and let's take a look at its operating mode. After watching the video on the ABS anti-lock brake system, this system has become standard equipment. Currently, all vehicles are equipped with this system. This system helps us apply brakes when speed is high. Based on the animation we just saw, when he hits the brakes hard, it helps with pulsing brakes. It can adjust the steering wheel to avoid danger, because if you can unlock the key, you won't be able to steer. And if it applies pulsing brakes, your car can easily steer. So, a reminder to everyone. When we're driving fast, you shouldn't turn the steering wheel too much. Being too aggressive can also lead to losing control. This system has been derived from airplanes, because airplanes fly at very high speeds. It has a threshold, only activating above 60. If it's not above 60, it won't activate. As for the instructor, their car is also equipped. Introduce the system. Have you used it? I haven't used it. Traction control system. When sensors detect tire, acceleration and turning. If slipping occurs, this system controls the engine output to the drive wheels. It slows down the speed, providing optimal traction, assisting in preventing tire slipping. Driving on slippery surfaces becomes safer and easier. Now let's look at the animation of this system. It means when starting on a slippery surface, and accelerating. Tire slipping may occur. We'll see that with and without. We'll stop and look. Below is the equipped model. Look at its engine. The tachometer reads 5,000 RPM. Above is the non-equipped model. It stays controlled at 2,000 RPM. So when you step on the gas, it detects the slipping phenomenon. It will slow down your engine RPM. From here we can see the bottom shows the controlled throttle. Original state. After that, it has stopped. So students, when you're slowly accelerating at home, pay special attention to throttle control. You need to learn to manage the gas. Press gently. Don't push too hard. If you push too hard, it easily leads to slipping and losing control. There's an indicator light here. It can be turned off. The traction control system indicator light. Let's see how it operates. There needs to be a warning light. It says if this happens, stuck in mud or snow, this system can reduce engine RPM, transfer power to the wheels. Pressing the button can deactivate the system, making it easier for the vehicle to get unstuck. In other words, this system can be activated or deactivated. Next, let's look at the vehicle stability control system. It also discusses this here, or in off state. Next, let's look at the vehicle stability control system. It also talks about this here. When encountering oversteer, this system will help us brake. It will help us slow down, control the engine power output, avoid the vehicle spinning out. If there is understeer, this system can also assist with braking, reduce the engine power output, keep the vehicle on a normal driving path, can control braking and engine power to ensure stable driving. Let's take a look at how this system operates. It means to say, when this system is in operation, this indicator light will flash. Brake priority system mode error. Power limitation system indicator. Electric power steering system warning light. When this light comes on, your power steering wheel, electric motor part will fail to function. At this time, your steering wheel will feel very heavy, but it can still be turned. You can still turn on the front fog lights. If there are front fog lights, it implies there are rear fog lights. Okay, this one is for thick fog lights. Did you see the thick fog lights? This is to remind everyone, choose to use fog lights when foggy. For front and rear fog lights, police agencies will not actively stop to check. However, the public can report if you are not. In fog, you cannot use fog lights. Front fog lights and rear fog lights. We see this picture is of a fuel gauge. When this indicator is on, it means your gasoline is low. Time to refuel. Approximately how much is left? About 16 kilometers. Some cars may have about 8 kilometers left. In the future, when driving outside, don't let this light come on. Gasoline spills can easily break down, generally speaking. The dashboard will show the gear position. Fuel level mileage. There is also total mileage, and you can set the mileage from point A to point B. You can also find out how much fuel is left in your tank. How many kilometers can you drive? Below that, this is traditional, just like our instruction vehicle. Generally, instructor vehicles use TESEL. The fuel gauge is needle style. There's also a temperature gauge, which is also a needle style. There's a small triangle beside it. What does this triangle tell us? That our fuel filler is on the left side. If this small triangle is on our right, it indicates that this car's fuel filler is on our right, the turn signal. Turn signal light, which we usually call a direction light. When the vehicle is driving and has to choose to turn left or right or change lanes, it must turn on the indicator light early. The turn signal should flash. The speed becomes faster. On the other side, if we signal to the right side flashes faster, the left side flashes normally. What does this mean? The bulb is burnt out. It needs to be replaced immediately. Now let's take a look at what the situation is like. The economy speed is also very fast. Your sound is very quick. All right, we signal to the right. It flashes slower. That indicates your left bulb is burnt out. A burnt-out bulb must be repaired, because when you change lanes, the car behind doesn't know. It's easy to have an accident. The brightest lights, only this will display. A burnt bulb, nothing else will. Your headlights being burnt out won't be shown as well. If your brake light is burnt out, it won't shine. It won't tell you either. Only the turn signals will remind you. I think the car manufacturers put so much effort into designing many functions for the bulbs. They won't design for the left headlight being burnt out.
Also, if the left headlight has a problem, the right brake light is burnt out, it should display the right brake light. I think that would be better. Otherwise, some have designed many functions, anything you can think of. They have designed, in today's cars, anything you can think of. It's not that they can't do it, they definitely can. That's the turn signal, that's the headlights. Why wasn't it done? It should be done in the future too. How to know if the engine is running? 1. Listen to the engine sound. 2. Feel the car noise. 3. Give it a little gas. 4. Check the engine RPM gauge. Check the speedometer. When listening to the engine sounds, you can't really hear it. The engine is very quiet. You can hardly hear anything. Feel if the side needle is vibrating. Because the engine sound is very quiet, you can't even feel it's running. 3. Give it a little gas if the engine is running. It will accelerate. If it's not running, you won't feel the acceleration. So this action is actually incorrect too. 4. Check the engine RPM gauge. If you check the engine RPM gauge, we will look at it later. 5. Check the datasheet. The vehicle is stopped over there. It's not moving. Look, the speedometer is at 0. So the final answer is the 4th item. You need to check the engine RPM gauge. Let's take a look at the engine RPM gauge. The left side of the engine RPM gauge reads at 9. This means it's turning. 900 RPM, the engine is running. The chart below shows 0 RPM. That's the state of having no RPM, it's off. Why observe this action? Because if the engine is running, when you start the vehicle, the starter motor can easily break. This is a reminder for everyone. So at the instant we start the vehicle, we must confirm the engine is running. The most accurate way is to check the RPM gauge. Hazard warning light button. When do we use it? When the vehicle is on the road. You need to alert the vehicles behind you. We're slowing down, don't hit me. You should press the hazard warning light button. This applies to heavy rain or fog. Just the same, press the hazard light button. After pressing it, remember to turn it off. Because if you don't turn it off, you will be swapped on the road. The cars behind won't know. This is particularly important. When you park temporarily by the roadside, you should also press the hazard warning light button. Alert the vehicles behind not to hit us with the turn signals. Control lever. This means it's on the left side of our steering wheel. It can control our turn signals. Usually the lights are part of this control lever. Now let's see how it operates. All right, this is the low beam. Next, switch to the high beam. This means the bright lights. Push forward for the high beams. It switches back to the low beam. This is the front fog light. Next is the rear fog light. All turned off, fog lights turned off. The lights are all off too. If you tilt it up, it's the right turn signal. If you tilt it down, it's the left turn signal. When using the turn signals, don't use too much force. A gentle push will do. Next, this is the high beam flash. You must know how to do this, because sometimes we need it while driving. Turn on the hazard warning lights. All 4 corner lights will turn on. Remember to turn them off, because your turn signals won't work if activated. After reviewing the turn signals, headlights, and the operation of the low beams, let's take a look at the windshield wipers, how to turn them on and off, and how to activate the washer. First action is to spray water. When using the wipers, you must spray water first. All right, first phase. Intermittent mode, it will pause. Let's continue to see how long it pauses for. Intermittently, it will pause. Let's continue watching. It pauses for a few seconds. Should we play it again? Moreover, it's intermittent. You can also adjust the time. It can adjust the duration longer or shorter. All right, let's turn it off. Turn off. The second part is continuous. Water spray because of this. If there's no next day, water spray is essential. Just press for quick spray. Continuous. The last 4 windows. Must spray water first. Because if there's no rain day, its windshield will be dry. If you use the wiper, it can easily scratch the glass surface, so you must spray water first. Next, let's look at the engine starting part. First, we need to step on the brake. Hold the start button, and the vehicle will start. At this time, we see the engine RPM gauge at about 1200 RPM. Because during startup, it naturally raises its RPM to reach its working temperature. Next, when we turn it off, we do the same. Step on the brake, then just press again to shut it off. Without stepping on the brake, switch the engine start button mode. The first mode is when our engine is off. You can use the vehicle's malfunction warning lights. Press once, and it activates the power outlet mode. Next, if you press once more, it enters the mode where all electrical components can be used. Pressing again switches to the off mode. Next, let's look at the traditional ignition mode. Started with a key. For manual transmission, press the clutch to start. Step on the brake for automatic transmission. Shift must be in P or M gear. The first section, turn on the electronics. Audio system, switch to the second section. Turn on the measurement system. Power switch on the dashboard. All warning lights will illuminate. Enter the third phase, activate the camera. After the engine starts, release your hand. The key will automatically retract. If it doesn't retract, it can damage the starting system. When turning off the engine, turn back, ignite, then push inward. Turning back allows you to remove the key. For automatic transmission, forced shifting button. Why does an automatic car need forced gear shifting? Because for an automatic car, when the vehicle is out of battery, the gear shift lever cannot move. So forced shifting is necessary. This way the car can move out. So it has this design. Engine start. Generally speaking, it's usually located beneath the driver's seat. The fuel tank opening is to the left under the driver's seat. There are 3 buttons here. The leftmost one shows trip info and fuel consumption, along with outdoor temperature. The 2 on the right adjust the settings. The rightmost one is for adjusting the light angle. The switch for the outside rearview mirror and windows. The power window switch for the car door, designed next to our left door. The green arrow indicates folding the rear view mirror. The yellow arrow indicates this button. Prevents them from adjusting themselves. The red arrow indicates the central locking. Pressing this button
Will lock all 4 doors and pressing below
will unlock them.
When driving, lock all 4 doors.
Because it's safer that way. Folding the side mirrors. A reminder to all students.
If your car has power windows,
you should fold them up when parking
so that they won't get damaged if bumped.
These are the adjustments for both side mirrors. Adjust it left or right first.
Adjust up and down, left and right.
Left and right sides.
The rearview mirror adjustment has been discussed in previous videos. However, what we need to talk about here is the middle rearview mirror adjustment.
Because its design, the angle differs in daylight. Let's take a look.
Why the angle differs during the day?
The angle during the day is different. Let's take a look. Why is the daytime angle different? Good, push downwards. In the evening, press downwards.
This way the light's rays are refracted.
During the day, move it upwards.
Can you see the cars behind during the day? But at night it will be very bright.
So at night, we need to angle this mirror downwards. In other words, the angles are different for day and night. The handbrake lever currently. There are 3 types of handbrake levers on the market.
The most common type we have in our family cars
is the manual pull-up type, which is generally what we often see. There are also pedal types.
And another type is the electromagnetic valve type.
Their design is to stop the rear wheels, as a safety design to prevent the vehicle from moving after parking.
Drivers should develop the habit
of pulling the handbrake tight after getting out of the car. When starting off, make sure to check
if the handbrake has released.
Let's take a look at the air conditioning display, as well as the air conditioning system. This top part shows the interior temperature. The bottom part is for adjusting the air volume. And to adjust the temperature, you can do it here. The air conditioning system operates in automatic mode. Press the auto button to turn it on. To turn it off, just press off. It's pretty simple to operate.
For adjusting the temperature in the air conditioning,
turning clockwise increases the temperature, while turning counterclockwise
decreases the temperature. Next, this is the airflow volume for the air conditioning,
which works just like our electric fan. Turning clockwise increases
the fan speed, while turning counterclockwise
decreases the fan speed. Now let's look at the airflow mode switch here. The switch has 4 modes. The first mode is for blowing the upper body.
The second is to blow air to the upper body
and legs.
The third mode is blowing air to the legs. The fourth mode is to blow air to the legs and defog the windshield.
If you press it again,
it will cycle continuously. 1234, just like that cycling. Switch between outside air and the interior air circulation system.
This system allows you to circulate the air inside. After you press the button,
because you're using the air conditioning, you don't want outside air to come in. This way, the air conditioning will be cooler.
If you turn it off, outside air will come in. Consequently,
the air won't be able to defog the windshield effectively.
The defogger
is used to remove fog from the windshield and the front windows.
That removes fog from the rear window. The defogger will turn off automatically.
After operating for a while, when the car windows fog up, the air conditioning should be turned on.
If the moisture inside the car is high,
the windows are more likely to fog up,
which affects our driving safety.
So press the AC switch, which can effectively clear fog from the windshield.
If it's turned off, the windows may fog up easily. If using the interior air circulation mode, the windows are more likely to fog up. This is a reminder for us. This also refers to the air conditioning part. You need to press the AC switch to get cool air, otherwise there will be no cool air, just airflow only. The air conditioning part varies by manufacturer. However, the symbols are the same. Their symbols are identical. Child safety lock.
What is a child safety lock? It means that when kids are sitting in the back seat, they cannot open the car doors as a safety design.
Because kids in the back seat
might play around and press random buttons.
So when we are out with kids,
the back seat must have a child safety lock engaged.
Then kids won't be able to open the doors. The same goes for the windows. In the car, we can use our control system, so the kids can't open the car door. The same goes for the windows. Inside the car, we can use our control system. Locking the knife prevents children from pressing randomly. Then other situations won't occur. This is the activation and deactivation of the safety lock. Once he sets it, you can't start the car from the inside, but you can open the door from the outside. This is something to remind everyone of. At the end of the video, we would like to ask a question. While the vehicle is in motion, on the dashboard, which of the following items will not display a fault warning? 1. Turn signal. 2. Brake lights. 3. Headlights. 4. High beams. 5. Taillights. 6. All of the above. Today we discuss the basic model of the dashboard. Of course, different vehicles will have different warning lights displayed. Hope everyone gained something from this. So let's wrap up our lesson.